sessions at home. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to be able to fight everybody. Although last time I was here, I was able to count 30 different people that I managed to get time with in 2 days, which I was ecstatic about. I had a great time last time I was up here. I'm going to try to get as much in as I can with each of you, but the real value of what I do is trying to give you the right mindset and try to set you up so that you can go home and do your training on your own. For many years in the SCA, the learning of our sport and success in our sport really came down to speed and power. If you were fast and you could hit hard, that was really all you needed. And a lot of people, had a lot of success based on a little more than speed and power. Our sport has been refined quite a bit over the last 45 years, and it continues to get more sophisticated, and it continues to get more technically oriented. And so a lot of what I try to teach is how to learn better. Because it used to be that the basic training methodology involved putting somebody in armor and setting them out on the field and hoping that they magically glean the information from the experience, right? And there are a number of us that kind of went with that. Anybody familiar with that training model, right? Some people refer to it as the pain management training methodology, right? Ow, it hurts. Well, don't do that. Either block it or armor it. So, and there are so many people that learn that way. For those of you who did learn kind of under that method, may know that that's a horribly inefficient means of actually teaching somebody how to do. A lot of what I do with training is taking the time to break down the fight and teach individual portions of the fight. One thing you need to understand about learning in general is that there are three phases of learning. Any learning endeavor, there are basically 3 different phases. Okay? There's training, there's practice, and there's evaluation. Okay? If you think about it as like a college math class, I happen to be taking Math 1050 right now, trying to finish my associate's degree, and I have a math test on Monday. Super joy. Got finals coming up pretty soon, so trying to fit that all in. But when you go to the math class and the professor gets up there and writes up on the board and he shows us how to do the problems, and he gives us instructions that this is how you accomplish the thing. That's the training portion where you were taught how to do the thing. Okay, and then there's practice. For me, that's homework. I would actually put out the practice and do the homework. Probably be a lot easier for me, but you do the homework. You go home and you practice those problems, at home, and you go through that process that you were taught. When I get back to class, the professor goes up again, goes over some selected homework assignments, and kind of shows you how to do that, and that gives you an idea about, okay, well, if I tried it on my own and it didn't go so good, so where am I missing this, right? So you do that practice and you try to figure out, you try to get better at doing the thing as you were taught. And then at some point, you have to have an evaluation. That evaluation, like I said, one day I've got a test. And when I take that test, based on the previous 3 tests I've taken, I can tell you, I'm not going to score 100% on this test, right? And when I get my test back, as I have in the last ones, the questions that I'm going to look at, I'm not going to be looking at the ones I got right. I'm going to be looking at the ones I got wrong, right? Because we learn more from our failures than we do our successes. And so if you apply that model to what we're doing here, my basic training methodology is what I call isolate and eliminate. Isolate the deficiencies in your fight, and then you go to the training, drills, practice, you go back to the training to eliminate those deficiencies. And we have the same basic model. Today we're going to be doing training. I'm hoping to get into some drills that I do that I think are going to help some of you at varying levels of the fight. I know when Sagan was up here teaching, that's one of the guys that I get a lot of my training methodology from. Sagan's big on the drills as well. That's the training portion of it. That's where you learn how to do the thing. When you go to fighter practice and you try to exercise those techniques and you try to get better at those things. And then eventually you have to have an evaluation. Today, most of you, as I keep fighting you, you're going to get a pretty solid evaluation. But the most common form of evaluation that we have is the tournament, right? There's a lot of people that have any tourney jitters, any tourney anxiety. Oh, okay, there you go. A lot of people get really anxious about tournament because you get this mindset in the tournament where you're being judged, right? And tournament is a form of evaluation, but it's not. If you look at it as a judgment and that performance anxiety, all that stuff will get into your head pretty quick. But if you look at it from a perspective of being able to isolate a deficiency, when you go into a tournament, every tournament has a different purpose, right? You have a perennial defender tournament. The purpose of that tournament is to determine your perennial defender. Crown tourney, that's a pretty clear purpose to it, and that's determining the next crown, right? But the value of tournament is the same across the board. The value of a tournament is to be able to isolate the deficiencies and find out what problems you're having, and to see what kind of success you've had from the last time you had a pretty solid evaluation. That's a nice thing about crown being every 6 months. You go into a crown tourney. If you don't win crown tourney, then you should be able to isolate a deficiency with that. You should be able to find out something that is wrong about your fight, and then go home and start training to eliminate that deficiency and work that out. And then 6 months later, when you go back to crown, you have a pretty consistent baseline to be judging with. So you go to crown 6 months later, and you see what kind of progress you've made on that thing that was a deficiency, or multiple deficiencies. The more deficiencies you can eliminate from crown to crown, then the higher up the tourney chain you go, right? So as neat as it is to win crown and to be king, anytime I enter crown, I am under the assumption that I'm gonna learn something. And if I end up not winning crown, that tells me that there's a problem. And if I focus on what happened, don't worry about the results so much, right? Because a lot of people think that, especially at the unbelted level, there's this perception that you gotta look good, right? A lot of people misinterpret you looking good. They relate that strictly to how far you get in the list. Okay? We happen to be involved in a sport in which success is largely measured by one single factor, and that is body count. Right? As the bodies hit the floor, I think you're a pretty good fighter because you get all these bodies surrounding you, right? But it's the concern for body count, the concern for wins and losses. And why win this tournament? 5 rounds in this tournament. Well, that's great. You won 5 rounds in this tournament, which means you beat one more guy than you lost 3 and 2. That's great. And at what point did you start losing your fights? What were the caliber of fighter you were fighting at when you started losing your fights? When your first 3 fights against a couple of guys who've been fighting for 6 months, and then suddenly you run into some even just basic level nights, and you got smoked in 2 rounds after that. You can't measure progress. You can't measure success strictly based on the number of people. You can't base it strictly on body count. And you have to kind of redefine your victory conditions a little bit. Not all victories are created equal. And so if you focus on making improvements in a portion of your fight, rather than the number of people you were defeating, then you're going to have a better purpose-driven training session. You always have something that you can work towards. I talk about isolating deficiencies. How come I'm not talking about how great of a fighter you are, and how great you did in this tournament? You did better in this tournament than you did in this last tournament. I tell my guys all the time, you can tell when you're making progress on something when I stop bitching about that and I start bitching about something else. I had one of my guys recently. You got this thing, and you got to work on this. You got this problem. We need to figure that out. And he's like, well, I'm okay with that because